Alright, hello everyone, welcome back again to AusNZ 4-Key Mania Tournament 2025. And we're now finally back to some matchup going on. We got a little bit of a rescheduled plan for the next match that we're about to see. And this time we're gonna be seeing I believe we're probably one of the more anticipated matchups for the week 2 in particular. And it's going to be Ruka versus damogus179 here. And I'll be Mipha, probably also to be joined by staynoidedd here. How's it going? If you're here.
Hello, I'm here. Not bad. Unfortunately, we don't have 4 commentators like our last streamed match, but I guess 2 will do. I guess
2 will do, and we're split into 2 streams apparently. So
yeah,
we gotta. So apparently, you can check the other stream if you want to watch the other stream as well if you want to.
Yeah, that stream is Komodo XZ versus the Sorcerer, the lower bracket, the losers bracket, I meant to say, of the Group B. So if you wanted to go there, go over and check it on the AusNZ 4K channel. But for now, we are on a personal stream of Ops channel doing the Group A. And this is going to be a bit of a nail biter. Ruka, established 4-key and 7-key player who's been playing the game for over a decade at this point, and unproven and newer player, but still extremely solid, damogus179. Going to be interesting stuff as we get into the warm-up.
Yeah, this is just very clear to me that knowing that damogus is really intending to avoid LN at all costs, knowing that Ruka's proficiency in LN is just kind of like, Ruka, you know who Ruka is. You can just clearly tell that just by looking at LN scores alone, and just by having such a I guess a more of a dominant presence in terms of LN in every aspect, not in just 4-key, but it's also in 7-key. So you can kind of translate it on its own just to see how the scores would actually fare against a lot of people that are present even in this tournament. So you can kind of see why that Ruka is probably at that point we would just be protecting either one of the LN, which is either Big Brain or Conflict Whip. We probably can't see too much of it now, but now I think that it's looking like knowing that Ruka is probably going to attempt to tackle those 2 LNs, it's probably just whether or not the SV is going to be out in the open, pretty much.
Yes, definitely. We will definitely see if the SV has been practiced by either players. Maybe a bit of a free point for damogus if not played, but yeah, we'll definitely see as we're just getting all the details, sort and technicalities of the warm-up. Yeah, as you said before, really wanting damogus to avoid these LNs, probably immediately banning Conflict, I'd say, is probably the biggest gap between Ruka and damogus. So that really is going to be an interesting thing to see, as Ruka and damogus, I would say, are a little bit evenly matched on the right. But of course, Ruka with the decades worth of tournament experience, the nerves have got to be made of steel for that man as he heads into this winner's bracket.
Like, so you see that Ruka be protecting Conflict, which is also the LN3, which is of course to be expected, knowing that the LN, I guess Conflict would be the kind of the one of the harder LN picks. I guess out of the 3, well, maybe Vertebrae is probably the second if you don't count how coordination LN picks, if you're just really good at coordinating things. But at that point, you just kind of have to accept for the fact that Ruka is probably going to be at least somewhat come close to its prime if you can just get the LN picks right. So it's just a matter of whether or not damogus can actually beat out some of them, or if not all, in terms of just beating out the LN skill set in that particular.
Yeah, really a match favored statistically and in the feelings of for Ruka in his favor. Being seeded 6 in this tournament, very impressive things, but this early map pool could even the playing field just a little bit, as yeah, it does appear to be getting along with the warm-up. I think. Or I think we're going straight in, I don't know. Okay, yeah, we're getting a little warm-up.
Yeah, no, we probably can't see the warm-ups happening, but a little bit. Once we get to see that, I think the bans and protects have been there, and all they're said and done. It's just pretty much whichever gets the first pick. Really, I think it would be what would be the, I guess, for the Mogus situation right now. They really need to avoid LNs, and then hybrid, maybe not for hybrid 2, I think, because hybrid 2 is also that kind of thing that LN1 is that's supposed to be testing, but it's just not the rice pick that are just in the clear pretty much.
Playing Volcanic is an interesting warm-up. Okay, good start, but yeah, banning Assault Taxi is really good on Damogus' part because Ruka really shined in those density LNs, and with Ruka's ban, the Rice 3, the first time I think we've seen that ban actually happen for that map. Maybe he's not comfortable with it, or maybe it's just kind of like a hat in the ring because he is extremely consistent in both Rice and LN. And I'm actually interested to see what he does on Volcanic.
No, I mean, to truth be told, even in the Attang's bad files, I think it's Attang's dumplings. I forgot which pack was it, but it's still like, it is that Volcanic, which a lot of people, well, all people should know at this point. At that target demographic, it's just really to be expected.
Yeah, this is actually the Grand Finals speed pool. I'm going to leak it right now. This is going to be the Grand Finals, and along with other Epsilon and Delta maps, just for your guys' pleasure. And actually, both of them doing relatively
no
well.
Way. I mean, at that point, they just faltered at that point. I mean, yeah, it's just 400,
I mean, Damogus is still holding. Damogus is still holding. Wait a second.
382 BPM, sort of semi-rolly jump stream, kind of.
Yeah, Ruka really showing he doesn't really play these kinds of maps. Nothing to say about his skill as a player, it's just not really what he does. While Damogus holding on a bit more, still kind of just, struggling in, because at this point this chart is just like a column 2 and 3 trill hell, basically.
What's more impressive to me is that like this is when we saw that the skill ceiling about in the Rise aspect, I did not expect for this one to be able to play at this caliber of a joke of a chart, really.
Yeah, this really is a joke of a chart that the Mania community has kind of just accepted and embraced as kind of just a staple, famous chart. As we see here,
I forgot about that. I forgot about the
little
original
mini jack, the mini jack. As we get to the dump field. Oh, wait, Damogus PFC that, no way.
Oh my god.
Are we gonna see an S rank? Ruka getting a red.
No, I mean Ruka is not passing that for sure.
Ruka not passing. Really not used to these kinds of maps. Damogus probably playing these maps a lot more frequently, pushing. Do we see an S rank? Oh my god,
oh my god.
Wait, that's so good.
That's messed up, right?
That's messed up. Why do you do Ruka like that, man? Come on.
Yo. Actually, I mean, okay. For anybody who doesn't know, that the score V2 for OD changes a lot if we're in the score V2 setting, because OD9 is about as similar as you can get for like a Instant Mania. I think that's what's called like Judge 5.
Yeah,
and
Judge
it was
5,
like
Judge 6.
It was even stricter than like you would say, you could normally say that this, even like a 200 count like this, is just pretty much safe for OD9. But this is also a score V2, which score variable in terms of accuracy is still really, really good for that reason. There's a reason why that like most tournaments, even for Porky, has to set the OD even as max as OD 8.5, so not OD 9 at that point.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say a score V2 S rank on this is more impressive than like a mid-high 96. Really good stuff coming in from Damogus, kind of just showing that he's more inclined for the stronger, more denser side of the difficulty for this tournament, and that's why it could play into Ruka's favor a bit more, as it's still very early, week 2. Like, the difficulty doesn't go up until next week, so really interesting to see that maybe this is not going to pan out in damogus' favor, just because of how consistent, oriented, and focused tournaments usually are.
I mean, too bad that this is the. I mean, I guess the the map will probably won't be as cool as far as that one for instance, the difficulty, unless you're just doing a tournament that is just very specialized in just like doing hardcore stuff like that. And so, yeah, we're just gonna keep it in nail for that. But now we're just gonna go to the actual match. This is going to be the hybrid one, I think, to be picked for damogus, I think.
Yes, Hybrid 1, the density pick of the Hybrid series. This could be what damogus is looking for, as to just get it off on a strong note. But playing into LN is ruka's territory, so he is poking the bear a bit with this pick. Very dangerous first pick here that could determine how this match goes. But still 0-0 right now, and anybody's caught.
It kind of says about that, even with the Ellen being poked into this, it's not that bad of a pick for, I guess, to test the waters a little bit. But you could argue that maybe this pick isn't really that testing a whole lot, because there's only one hybrid left after this, and you really do not want to go into that territory for a hybrid 2 even. So there's other, you can just go with other rice picks after that point, because you don't have any other advantages going into this.
Yeah, definitely. The Shlong's not being too bad here, so maybe if damogus is comfortable on just his general rice capability, that nice volcanic chart warming him up, a very first note being a 200, really not going to say anything, but yeah, as we just get started in here.
Yeah, if you're not warmed up by volcanic, I don't know what will.
Mario Paint, man. What else? Kind of just everything's already been said about this chart in other matches, but for those who are tuning in for the first time, maybe this is a little bit on the denser side. While still being relatively low BPM, it does pick up in the second half. But it really isn't too much of a trouble especially for players of this caliber in the Group A. So this is really about a consistency pick rather than who can combo better. And both are holding really good scores with just the accuracy, probably in ratio, just favoring ruka a lot more.
Yeah, it seems like I'm checking out the hit errors right now, and it seems like damogus have been kind of releasing a little bit too early on the LNs right here. It's not so much because of the Rise section that has been kind of barring him a little bit there. It's just the LNs that I saw. It has more inconsistent problems with releasing them too early, or maybe even sometimes too late, which kind of results in the accuracy not being as high as you would hope for.
Yeah, you can't really bank on ruka getting a miss here because, yeah, as I said before, the tournaments he's storied and been a part of really just go to a testament of his skill, but it does get closer. We did see he dropped to 200 there, so not completely within the realm of impossibility for damogus, but he's going to need a bit more than just a 200 to really take this point, as ruka with 99.71 holding on to this accuracy, not really letting it flicker above too high or too low.
Yeah, ruka's just staying. Whenever there's our LNs around, ruka seems to be much gaining accuracy on LNs, and the only 200s being dropped are those in the core check section.
Which is like the stark opposite of what's been happening in when people play this.
Yeah, I mean, this guy just got to show that they got bags of experience at hand.
Yeah, respectable scores from both of these players, as ruka does just kind of miss out on the 99.7. But still, going to him with a 7,411 lead.
Wow.
Yeah, the ratio kind of being a little similar, but yeah, that 200 count kind of really just saying everything that needs to be said here.
it's kind of funny to me because I know that 200 where that 200 is. It's just at the beginning of the core jack transition.
Yeah. So we are running a bit over schedule anyways. Yeah, only one warm-up was allowed, but just nothing too bad. But yeah, like the ratio, it isn't that big of a gap. Like, about, 120, which, it could be a lot, but that is looking pretty good for Demoga, saying he could probably close that gap on the Rice picks as well. But it is now Ruka's pick, and he immediately goes into Hybrid 2, trying to get this more coordination pick just dealt with and get another point to get the break point.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting to me because we haven't seen so far, I think, in the entire tournament, that hybrids are being picked back to back. So they're kind of just leaving out Rice and Ellen just up until at best this is a mid-game situation.
Yeah, I mean, when we designed these map pools, I'm a map pool selector, so when we designed these map pools, we really made it intention for the Rice to be kind of like the focus and a little bit harder, because we know that Australia and New Zealand is a Rice focused nations. It used to be in the past, like around 2022 when I was in Mania World Cup. Just kind of, it was LN oriented, and we had a lot of good LN players like Alternation, me, Ruka, who was playing right now. But now in 2025, majority of players prefer the Rice. So we did tune down the difficulty a bit for LN, but it is kind of going to show that people are preferring to pick the LNs and hybrid less over the Rice and getting lower scores because of that.
That's pretty fascinating to think about, knowing that you can't just really go and just gung ho on just picking Rice because they have its own risk just to get into it.
Yeah, definitely it is what makes Ruka such a terrifying opponent for these early stages, because he was around when LN was kind of like the main thing people played in Australia. So he was playing against them in a lot of competition. So he really is a scary player. As we can see, holding, I think, a V1SS 99.76. It's kind of a blowout in the first half, but the second half does pick up in pace just a little bit. So we will see how it goes.
Among Us also doing well on their own, although they might, it's again like the usual problem, is just that kind of just either that it was overholding or just releasing too early, that which also happens in like the hybrid 1 that we saw earlier.
Yeah, definitely. Damogus just kind of letting this accuracy slip a bit more. And as we saw with Cancel versus Nexility in the match a couple of hours ago, it was kind of the same fate where Cancel kind of just held on to his accuracy and let it extend a bit, while as the charts further progressed along towards the end, Nexility just found it the struggle to maintain the accuracy and ended up slipping, and but seeing kind of this repeat here, but as before, this is just the hybrids where it is kind of Ruka's territory.
Oh, that's a pretty dangerous hit error for Ruka there. It's kind of going all over the place, but luckily it's not a 200 drop anywhere.
Definitely, he's still holding on to this mid 99.7, and while Damogus has regained some of that act, it's just too little too late. Even if Ruka takes his hands off the keyboard, it'd probably be fine. Maybe.
I probably just don't want to wish for that, of course,
yeah.
But it's still quite a thing to look out for. But good me. I mean, it's pretty rare to see a 992 on the hybrid 2 like this, I think. Even.
Ooh,
yeah, there you go.
V1SS.
Brother, okay.
Wow. I think that's our first V1SS on this, because I don't think Jokey has got to play this.
I mean, I think it's more because of that. It's just very rare to see a V1SS on hybrid. It's more so it's more so because of the LN component that makes it so hard, and Ruka just kind of brush it off.
Yeah, they kind of just really just paid no attention to it. A really good score. And yeah, the ratio wasn't that far off from damogus, but yeah, the 10 greats in the bad was really kind of just the extra cherry on top on how dominant Ruka's score is. And he goes for the SV. This is gonna be interesting because I actually don't know if Ruka has practiced the SV.
I think that SB is. I think I know that back in the past that when Ruka's playing for the 4K for Australia, but I think it was back in like last year or so. I think it was in 2024 where he actually put the amount of effort to practice, but how much of that effort is to be questioned. But it's kind of a little bit of a wonder if that Ruka is able to handle at some of it to be able to get a relatively much better score than just having a side rate on his own.
Yeah, damogus in the qualifiers, I think he only had like an 82%, while Ruka had a 96% on the infamous Weeble Wobble, as we all know and love. So maybe Ruka didn't practice this one as he felt like it wasn't needed, but it does look like damogus did his homework and is definitely practiced and well versed in it. While Ruka, big miss from Ruka, and that kind of just tells what we are gonna be looking at, which is he probably didn't practice it while damogus did. So we'll just see how it goes, but the lead is still within the realm of attainability if this isn't a sight read for Ruka.
Yeah, I think damogus had a really good accuracy at the intro there, but I think there's a point blank 50 out of that on a transition, and it's only trail. Oh, bro, okay. That's a big drop on the invisible trail, and it's pretty much now going back and forth now so much now.
Yeah, no more big teleports at the rest of this map, so if Ruka can just hold on, I will eat my words, and he will probably have practiced that, because he did hit that invisible trail like he knew it was coming, while damogus probably not prepared, didn't prepare as much of it. While he did start with good accuracy, it is slipping a lot more as Ruka just doesn't miss, and at this point, it really isn't an accuracy game, it's now who's going to miss and chain miss more, and it does seem for now at this point as we approach the halfway mark that Ruka will hold the combo.
Well, this is actually getting more interesting because I think the last section, or I guess the last quarter of it, is more also whether or not you get juked out by the timing on that. Because that one section, yeah, I mean not that one, but it's apparently that's a trade. So kind of interesting to see. Now this one section is you get juked out really easily on this section.
Yeah, both dropping their accuracies dramatically. damogus going to a 94 A rank, while Ruka is still struggling to hold on to his S rank. Stabilizing.
Oh, they got juked out by that. There's a 50 and 200 there. You got juked out by this transition. And no,
another miss.
Juked out as well.
The play has backfired as while damogus thought he was prepared and kind of banking on Ruka not playing the SV enough. Oh, no, it's just not enough.
Oh wow, that's
really unfortunate for damogus.
Yeah, massive drop in the last quarter of it. Both of them took their own damages, but apparently damogus take the most one out of that. So that is not it did not pay it off as it should have been.
Yeah, that should have been the point that got damogus on the leaderboard, but it backfired in a pretty bad way. Apparently it was a PV from, I think, maybe both of them, so it could be kind of just like a gamble that just didn't pay off for damogus. But things are looking up because we do have the rice maps to go, but if you're a bit more keen attention, see the two LNs are still left, but damogus picks the LN.
I'm so confused.
I'm with you there, man. I mean, it's a good song.
Picking based on vibes, that's I just don't know.
We have steered clear from the rice pools completely. Did we just like stumble upon like an LN tournament? Like, what is going on here?
Well, I mean, I guess. Well, is it actually gonna be the match then where the Rice is just completely untouched?
Well, if damogus loses this pick, then it probably will be. But both holding relatively high accuracy in this intro.
That is actually surprisingly very good intro for both of them. I mean, Ruka is to be expected, but Amogus, wow.
But we have seen that players do well in the intro, but as it picks up into the chorus, players just struggle more and drop 200s. But yeah, really good start for both of these players. They kind of just like switching back and forth, with Ruka having a slight lead. This is
not that much of a lead.
Yeah, I said slight lead. It's still going back and forth, but yeah, 99.83 to 99.79. 1-200 here could spell the end for both of these players.
I mean, they're doing
there
well.
It is. There it is.
Oh, that's a two. I think there's a 50, 100 or something.
That is really good looking for damogus.
Oh, that's a 200 again.
That's really good for damogus, as while on the back, but if he wins this LN, he will definitely still be in the fight with the remaining rice picks, which he probably is more comfortable in. This could be really good if he just keeps holding on to this double SS. I think he is still holding.
I think they're not out of the woods yet. There's still kind of a couple of sections that are just kind of flam-ish, which kind of throws you off a little bit on the release timing. And there they go. There's a 200 around damogus there. Oh no, this is actually gonna be really close. Now it's actually back to even now.
Flipping back and forth, damogus with the 200 slightly behind in the lead, 99.70 and 99.73. Another 200 from ruka could be good for damogus, but it isn't looking feasible right now. This could be the closest point yet streamed. I'm holding my breath. I'm holding my breath. I really don't want to see it end, but it's just, it's so close. This could be going down to 3 digits. But it's just like ruka did not drop. Ruka did not drop. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's a 3 200s too. And damogus though, I think that drop is only that one section alone. I feel like on the at least a close proximity.
That was the point that damogus really needed, and the fact that it was that close is really tragic, as there's only one LN left now, which does favor ruka, but this is a really impressive score from damogus. I was not expecting him to 990k, but yeah, now it's damogus's pick, and he goes with rice 1.
Okay,
we're picking the rices.
At least this does make sense, right? So he
yeah.
At that point, I mean, you know, when you're kind of struggling to get anything out of the back foot, it's just really need to get to the rice like completely.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, rice 1 I think is a good start. A consistency pick, but still room for error, which is I think what damogus needs right now. But yeah, like that SV and that LN, it could have been really good to tie up the lead for damogus, but just a little bit less practice on the SV and just a little unlucky with the 200 count. Really just puts it in match point for ruka, and this could be really bad. But this is still the regular bracket, so whoever loses this will be sent down to the losers bracket. So it won't be over for their run, but yeah, if we want to see a tight match, damogus really needs to pull through here, or ruka really needs to fail here.
Yeah, it just really needs to pull their weight, really, because I feel like even with this kind of speed pick, which is kind of volatile on its own right, which is not saying too much of it, but again, like the speed, you kind of have to wonder if ruka is now warmed up because of volcanic out of that reason, just to get yourself warmed up for that reason.
I mean, yeah, the speed could prove to be really good for this specific song. But yeah, starting off really strong for ruka, 99.97. Excuse me?
I don't take
Did he-
Ruka to be a accuracy gamer, but apparently does so.
I mean, Damogus pulling his weight too, and okay, yeah, he is dropping. Okay, good. If he was holding like a high 99.9, I was gonna freak out. But yeah, as the song gets further and further in, a lot more chances for mistakes to be made. Damogus making just a little bit more than Ruka, but
Actually,
yeah, this could be anyone's game. Damogus really needs to lock in here.
I mean, they're doing fine so far. No, there's not a lot of there's still a very wiggle room to make from this though. I feel like even getting 99.83 is fine. You just kind of need to hope that Ruka is dropping a little ever so.
It's what he's doing. He's dropping a little bit more slightly. 99.83, 99.84, literally separated by a single digit. Oh my god, we enter the midway break section, and then after this, we go back into the familiarity. Damogus kind of dropping a bit, but yeah, this will decide who will win this.
I don't know. This is actually kind of weird now.
Oh, never mind. That kind of spews the end for an unfortunate miss there. Unless Ruka comes back with even more misses, that's going to be the end of it, unfortunately. Really unfortunate. I wanted to see how close they could get, but it's just what happens sometimes, and I think Ruka's going to take a comfortable sweep. 99.83, a very good score from both sides, but at the end of the day, the consistency king reigns supreme, and he moves on into the winner's bracket.
Yeah, very strong show. It would have been a much closer matchup if the Damogus get their stars aligned, but unfortunately it did not make the cut. And even that's still very, very solid if you want double S as well for Ruka, which
Yeah.
I didn't take too much of it being a ratio of base or sharpshooter player as much. But apparently it did not align very well for Damogus.
Really, what could have been for Damogus with a lot of these points, especially this one, getting better ratio. If he didn't have that what appeared to be a bit of a lag spike, I think that could have gone to his point, and a reverse sweep could have been on the table. But we're now grounded in reality, and what reality has said is that Ruka is your winner, and he will move on, while Damogus gets knocked down to the lowest bracket.
Yeah, as you would expect, the clear favorites of the, well, I guess a clear personal favorite for most people that Ruka, it gets to the next round or on a winner's bracket, and moving Damogus down to a lower bracket. As you can clearly tell that Damogus is a player that you really need to watch out for, especially with that kind of score, which they had to face against Gaming Eye as well, which kind of scary to think about, dude, when you see that bracket going on in the lowest bracket.
Yeah. So as you see, Damogus getting knocked into the lowest bracket will be having to face Gaming Fire YT as their opponent, which should be an interesting match to see, while Ruka goes to face off against the number 3 seed Crimsonite in the week 3 stage. GG well played to both of these players, so this is going to be really interesting to see. And yeah, that is it this weekend for the Group A players, but I believe this Group B is heating up to be a bit of a banger, as both players are tied the score. I think Kevin just won his 3rd point. So if you really want to see a bit more action, head on over to the stream at AusNZ 4K. But if you want to see more Group A action, you're going to have to wait next weekend. But yeah, that's been a really good showing from every single player.
Yeah, and what's left of that is just after the other match concludes, then pretty much for the weekend, we're just going to have to wait for the Maple Showcase, which I believe probably will occur tomorrow, but I'm not quite sure we'll be timing. It'll be announced soon enough once we get the timings done and probably dusted, and probably with have commentators down the line as well to be able to watch the showcase. So really don't want to miss out on that, because a new pool is going to be a new challenge for everyone involved in the tournament.
Certainly. The new map pool, a big spike in difficulty, I must say. So please look forward to it. We have some absolute heaters cooking up in the kitchen over here at the AusNZ map pool team. So please do be looking forward to that. Probably tomorrow. We'll get the specific date and time probably later. I have been staynoidedd, and I've been joined by the lovely Mipha, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Stay tuned and take care.